Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. Also a good wherever you are. We are looking at the video playlist element for Elementor by ElementsKit, a great add-on. I have it here. You can see I've built it out here on this Pottery website. And what it basically does, it gives you a playlist, a thumbnail display of videos that you can group together. This is great if you have video content for your site. And when the visitor clicks on it, it opens a pop-up and the video starts playing. I like this pop-up. In this form that I've just shown you, this is a great plugin. If you wanted more, this is a half-baked plugin. For example, by clicking on it, it starts playing automatically. I wish there was a function for it not to play automatically. That's something that some people sometimes do need. Also, I'll point out that this background, I cannot do anything about it. I cannot change the color. I cannot change the opacity. That is, in my opinion, a big oversight. The other nice feature that comes in is you have tags here at the top, labels through which you can sort them in categories. If you have a lot of videos and you display them in a huge grid, then it's easy to find the videos that are related. As I said, as a simple video element, it does a good job. Let's have a look at how this element works. Back into Elementor, and I'll go ahead and delete the one that I have over here and search for the video. This is the video gallery from ElementsKit, not playlist. The video playlist is the one from Elementor. Nothing here. In the sidebar on the left, you add an item. So we click, one item comes in, and that is one video. You can choose between YouTube, Vimeo, or self-hosted, and your URL goes here. Let's go to YouTube, and I'll copy one here, share, copy, go back, and paste it. And it brings in the video, and you can see it already displays the thumbnail. I'll give it a category. So if you want to work with the category, new, I'll just call it new. And you can also add a custom image. Before we do that, let's duplicate this one 3 times, even 4 times, so that you can see you can also create a grid, and you will set how many videos per column within the layout. And you have desktop, tablet, and mobile control for responsiveness. You can set it to grid, masonry, and then carousel. I feel, again, there's a lot missed here. Carousel. Once you select carousel, I don't see it moving. I don't see control over the carousel. So pretty useless. Masonry gives me black bars, and then I'll have to go and change the height of it. I feel something missing here. I don't get that setting of 16:9, which is the aspect ratio for videos that would have been logical for me in this element. That's why I feel half-baked. This one can be improved dramatically with just that standard features that you would expect from a video element where you have the aspect ratios included here, which are not included here. From the content, like I mentioned, you can add a custom image that if you want to bring in your own, which is also a good idea that you can take control over that. Another missed opportunity here, and I'll point this out all the time, is that I don't have control as to a focus point for this image. We can bring in other images, so we can just make these guys stand out from each other. And then that last one, I'm going to go ahead and delete that. And then for the third item, let's give it a different category. We call this workshop. And we are done with the content. For the layout, I showed you, you have grid. Again, unfortunately, no aspect ratios to choose from here, which is a pity because it doesn't come in at 16:9, which makes it kind of weird because it cuts off the thumbnail. This is the thumbnail that we expect to see. But as you saw, it gets cut off. You can change how many columns, responsive design, and then the settings here, change out the icon. You want to show the filter. That's the one that we've created that can show you all, only the new ones or only the workshop. And then play button on hover. So the button won't appear, but as someone hovers over it, it will show. Not a good idea. Why? Because on tablet and mobile devices, people won't know that. So you need to leave it on. This button, this kind of setting is just useless in the world of responsiveness at this moment. And if I look at many of the elements that comes with ElementsKit, some of them are super. They have a lot of extra features. And then something like this video playlist brings in tags. You can sort them. It looks really as if you have all these additional features, but at the basics, no aspect ratios. Doesn't make sense. The carousel doesn't carousel at all. So I'm not so entirely sure if this is a very good video playlist, video carousel. That's what it's called, carousel, not a carousel. Under styling, you have height. And here you can set height. Again, no aspect ratio. So if I go beyond that, the image just keeps stretching. Don't get it. Then background type. Another one that's totally not properly named. If I choose a color here, what happens? It's not a background type. It's an overlay. What I need to do here is then reduce the opacity for the image to come through again. Then there is an image, and you're going to see the image here under item, image, and video icon, and it makes 0 sense. I've brought in an image randomly, and where is that image? Right? I hovered over it, I increased it, and when I increased it, you see there's this coming here in the bottom. Let's change the image to a normal image just to see what it does. And now it does this. What is this? I have no idea. Totally useless. No one is going to use that. And you have then for the image, you have padding. Maybe you can add a logo here. Let's see if that is the idea behind this. To bring in the image, and it's set to full. Let's make it smaller, medium. I know I shouldn't be, no, I don't get it. Let's make it thumbnail. It's put on repeat, right? So let's put on repeat, no repeat. Okay. Right, can also be done better, but I can get behind this. This is kind of like a logo that you're putting over it. Unnecessary. No one is going to do that, right? And that is probably what the purpose of the image is. So let's stop being critical. Let's go on to the next one, which is the image. And you have padding here for the image if you want to add some padding. And then you get that background border that comes through. And you can also create border radius. This border that you see here should be in the, let's go to solid. Oh, okay, now you have a different border. Okay, let's increase this. Okay, you can create funky stuff. Then I need to remove all the padding, right? Let me take the padding away. Okay, that was interesting. So if you have an overlay applied and you add padding to it, it's going to give you the overlay border color, which is this one that comes through. And then if you have the border, you can create this retro 70s style look if you want to, but no need for that. And that is if you apply a border to it. Video icon, you have the size for that, and then you have color. And here, let's do this. I'll go to the classic color. I'll go to classic color and I'll just choose this green so we can see that it works. Great. And then there's image. What the heck is the image? So let's just choose a random image here. And this image pops up everywhere. And see now my green has been removed. Let's make it medium, smaller. I don't get it. And I delete it. The green comes back. Maybe it's a mask. I guess this is a mask. And then you have border type again, solid, right? That works because maybe you want a border around the play icon and a box shadow. And the last one is the filter, which also has quite a number of hiccups in. But good ideas. You have your styles here at the top. So if you go to something like style number 6, it gives you this one that I had worked with. And then filter alignment. Now look here, I press left. Nope. I press right. Nope. Center. But when I go to this option, navigation fill, and I activate it, now I can do it. I go to the left. That is strange. So what is the purpose of navigation fill? Interesting. And you even have responsiveness for this. Then you have background type, you have width, height. And as you play with these features, you're going to like, wait, look at this. The width extends the line that's under the filter. So let's go to new and click on new. And again, with the width, it's in percentage. So luckily, I can put it back to 100%. and then it will underline 100% of the tag that we filtered it with. Then you have height, and weird, right? But you can make it thicker, and bottom is going to place it. All right, and then you have left. So we have again this naming convention here that doesn't make sense. And then you have navigation item spacing. Let's type in there 25. And that is, it seems to me, like padding around all of this. Undo, Control Z, Command Z. Then you have navigation bottom spacing. This one is important. This is the gap between the navigation and your content. Below this, you have normal and active. So your active is the one that's currently red. Let's go to normal first and change the color so we can see how this will work. I'll just put it also on green, darker green. And then, where is that underlined color? Container, no. And I found that should be the background color. But watch what happens when I choose background color. I get a box. And it's at this point that I feel I'm going to start wasting time trying to figure this out. And once you get there, it's not an easy or intuitive element to use. Great idea. I'm stopping here because the time I know that I'm going to invest trying to figure out what happened to my line and why I suddenly have a box here, which I didn't want, and I undo that, I don't like that. And a lot of my time in life I spend on trying to figure things out. So this element needs a serious overhaul, and a lot of features that should have been included from the beginning, like aspect ratio, and trying to figure out why an element that is called a carousel does not make carousel and does not have control over how many slides you can show per carousel. This is not a new element. This is not something that has been released and not yet fully fledged. This has been around for a long time. Don't like this element in the state that it is, and I really request ElementsKit to update this one and make it stand out the way it should. This one, not my favorite then. From me, JP here at Websites for Beginners. I'll see you in the next video.